Hello all, welcome back to our NgRx series. In our last video, we covered the basics of state management with NgRx, including what NgRx is and when to use it. Just to recap, NgRx is a state management library specifically designed for Angular applications, and it is built on top of Redux principles. While Redux is commonly used in React and JavaScript applications, whereas NgRx adapts these principles for Angular. And we have already covered the fundamentals of both Redux as well as NgRx in our introduction part. Now, next, let's set up the environment for our practical exercise. And to do this, we will need to follow 4 steps to create an Angular application with NgRx. First step is to download and install a Node.js version greater than 18.19.1. If you navigate to this URL, you can find the latest stable version of Node.js. Second step is to install the latest version of Angular using the command npm install -g @angular/cli@latest. Also, you can hit the command npm install -g @angular/cli. So this command is also install the latest version of Angular. Next, third step is to create a new Angular project using the command ngnew project name. And the last and fourth step is to add the NgRx store and effects using the command ng space add space @ngrx/store and ng space add space @ngrx/effects. And by following these 4 steps, we will have our Angular project with NgRx setup. So let's implement these 4 steps in our system. So according to our plan, we need to create an Angular project which requires Node.js and Angular CLI to be installed. And since I already have Node.js and Angular CLI installed, I'll skip those steps. But let's verify the versions. Let me open the command prompt. And for Node.js, we will run command node space -v. And for Angular CLI, we will run command ng space v. And as you can see, I have already installed Node.js version 20.16.0, which is greater than 18.19.1, and Angular version 19. So now let's move on to the third step, creating new Angular application using command ngnew project name. Here I'll open one more CMD, and here I'll hit command ngnew space Angular/NgRx. The Angular/NgRx is the project name. Now hit enter. I'll choose SCSS. Then I'll type Y for SSR and again Y for routing. And project is created successfully. Now let me go inside the project Angular-NgRx. And now I'll open the same project inside Visual Studio Code Editor. For that, I hit command code space dot. And inside Visual Studio Code Editor, let me open the package.json file. And here we can see that the Angular project version is 19. Now let me close the terminal. And if I open the app.component.ts file, and here, if I try to import the store, import store from @ngrx/store. Then you can see here I'm getting an error saying that cannot find module @ngrx/store or its corresponding type declarations. It means NgRx is not installed in our project yet. Because NgRx is a separate library, in order to use that library, we need to add it in our Angular project. So to fix this error, we will follow the fourth step, that is running NgRx command for store and effects. So let me open terminal here, and here I'll hit command ng add @ngrx/store. Enter, type Y. Again, I need to type Y to proceed the installation. And package is installed successfully. Now I'll open our package.json file. And here I'll search for NgRx. And as we can see here, NgRx store package is added with the latest version 19.2.0. But here, if I type the ngrx/effects, there is no result for ngrx effects. So let me install that as well with command ngrx/effects. Here, alternatively, you can use command npm install @ngrx/store or effects, depending on your preferences. So I'll go with ngadd, hit enter, press Y to proceed the installation. Package is installed successfully. And if I search ngrx/effects, this time we can see the ngrx effects package with version 19.2.0. So now inside package.json file, ngrx/store and ngrx/effects packages are added with the latest version 19.2.0. Also, if I navigate to the appconfig.ts file, here you will see that by default it has added two entries, provide store and provide effects. Now save the changes and let's revisit the app.component.ts file, and here the error has gone, indicating that we have successfully installed NgRx in our Angular application. So with this, our environment setup is complete. Now let's run the project using command npm start or ngserve Control C, CLS, and I'll hit the command ng serve space hyphen hyphen open. This command will launch the default UI in the browser, and everything should be working as expected. Okay, so let me close the remaining tabs. And this is the default UI of Angular application. And as you know, this session is all about the installation of all dependencies and setting up the environment. So far we have created the Angular application and added NgRx store and NgRx effect packages inside that Angular application. Now next, to speed up the development process and avoid coding from scratch, let's add Bootstrap to our project. And we will do this in two steps. So let me paste the steps inside this Visual Studio Code editor. And to install Bootstrap in Angular application, first step is to install Bootstrap using command npm install bootstrap. And the second step is to add the CSS and JavaScript file paths to the angular.json file. So by using these two steps, we will integrate Bootstrap into our project, making it easier to build the UI. So let's try to install Bootstrap. So here inside new terminal, I'll hit the same command npm install bootstrap, hit enter, and this command will add Bootstrap to our project dependencies. And once complete, Bootstrap will be added to the node modules folder. So let's verify that. Let me go inside node module folder, and here I'll search Bootstrap. Here you can find the Bootstrap folder, and inside this folder you can find two more folders, CSS as well as JavaScript. Inside CSS you will find the bootstrap.min.css file. Similarly, inside JavaScript folder, here also you will find the bootstrap.min.js file. And these two files we need to add inside angular.json file. That is our second step. Before that, inside package.json file, we can see the installed Bootstrap version 5.3.6. And with that, our first step is successfully completed. Now let's move on to the second step, that is adding the paths to bootstrap.min.css and bootstrap.min.js in the angular.json file. So let me copy the CSS path from here and let me go inside angular.json file, and here under the options inside array I'll add comma, and inside double quotes I'll paste the path for bootstrap.main.css. Similarly, inside script I'll copy the JavaScript path and paste it here inside double quotes. Now save the changes And after updating the angular.json file, let's restart the application with command ngserve. Port 4200 is already in use. Okay, let me close this terminal, and here let me clear this terminal with command cls, and here I'll run the project with command ngss for serve. And you can see our application is compiled successfully. Now to test if the Bootstrap is working, I'll add some Bootstrap classes into our HTML file. So let me go inside the app.component.ts file, not ts, HTML file, and let me remove all this default UI. And here I'll take one H2 element with Bootstrap classes, text success, and text center. Press tab, and inside this H2 element, I'll add heading, welcome to NgRx series. So inside this heading, text success and text center are the Bootstrap classes, and this should center the text and make it green. Now let's open the browser, and yes, we can see the heading in center and it is in green color, which means Bootstrap is working as expected. So with these two steps, we have successfully integrated Bootstrap into our Angular NgRx project. So as per plan, we need to install Node.js. After that, we need to install Angular version 19. After that, we need to create the Angular project, and then we need to add the NgRx packages inside that project. So these four steps we need to follow in order to set up the environment. And apart from these four steps, we have installed the Bootstrap library to speed up the development process. And that is all for now. Stay tuned for the next video where we will dive deeper into NGRX. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to FED Learning for quick and easy learning. Thank you. Bye bye.